Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ryan Haikal Azali bin Asrar Azali. I am a student in Sekolah Kebangsaan Sungai Karang and I am in the class 6 in Durust. I am 12 years old and my ambition is to be an engineer, just like my parents. My hobby is cycling. My school code is CBA 4004. Today I'm going to tell you about a book that I recently read. The title of this book is The Magic Finger. The author of this book is Rota, who is also the author of many other books such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, the BFG, and many more. This book is illustrated by Quentin Blake, who is Rota's favorite illustrator. He also won the prestigious Kate Greenaway Medal in 1980, and he is native for services to illustration in 2013. This book is published in 2016 by Puffin Books, and it has 78 pages, including a bonus chapter from the famous book Matilda, who Rota is also an author of. Now let's dive deeper into the story. This book introduces 5 characters named Girl, Philip Gregg, William Gregg, Mr. and Mrs. Gregg. Now Girl isn't any ordinary little girl. She has the power of the magic finger, which can cause interesting things to happen. The story started when Girl was unhappy with the Gregg family. As to why, the Gregg family hunts animals for fun. In fact, their main hobby is to hunt and kill the animals. It's a very bad hobby, right? So one day, Girl was staying near the spot where the Greggs usually hunt and saw Philip and William carrying a dead deer. This made her very annoyed and made her use the magic finger on them. A sort of quick flash comes out of her forefinger of her right hand and goes straight for the Greggs. When the magic finger is upon you, things can happen. Girl ran home immediately and waited for things to happen. A couple of days later, Mr. Gregg realized he and his wife had wings and became very small. They went to check on Philip and William and realized the same happened to them. Before Mrs. Gregg could say a word, the 2 boys already flew out of their room. Mr. Gregg and Mrs. Gregg went to catch up with them. It didn't take long. As they sat down on a wall near the door of their home, they saw giant ducks entering their house, playing with William's toys, sleeping in Philip's bed, cooking with Mrs. Gregg's kitchen utensils, and holding Mr. Gregg's gun. This made them extremely sad. Even the 2 boys started to cry. A couple of minutes later, they started collecting sticks and tree branches and made a nest on top of a tall tree. Suddenly, their stomachs are grumbling. They tried to get food from the house, but there was no way in. Mr. Gregg tried to convince them to eat bird food and worms, but there was no luck. They eventually had to get apples from a random tree. Girl tried to call Philip with a telephone, but only heard sounds of a bird laughing. The Gregg family tried to get some sleep on top of the tall tree, but failed due to the windy weather. Then came the rain. The next day, the giant ducks surrounded the Gregg family's nest and pointed their guns at them. The Mr. Gregg family begged to not be shot and said that they have learned their lesson. And then everything went back to normal and the Gregg family finally learned their lesson. The theme of the magic finger is to develop compassion. As the story opens, the Gregg family lacks compassion. They enjoy hunting simply for the thrill of killing animals, and they are rude to the 8-year-old girl next door. The moral of the story is to always put yourself in someone else's position, so you'll understand them. This story teaches me to be kind to animals, and if I have the magic finger, I will also use it for good. Now, the only part I dislike about the story is the lack of information about the main character's name. She is just referred to as Girl, and I found the story to be too short. But other than that, the book is still enjoyable and it's so much fun to read it. Before I end this, I also want to say that by buying this book, you save the child because 10% of Rota's income goes to charity that support causes such as specialist nurses for children, grants for families in need, and educational outreach programs. That's all from me. Thank you.